welcome to part 2 on the 1986 Honda cr250. Last video, little recap, we picked this thing up for $1,200, brought it back home, went over a couple things, and actually got it to run. If you guys want to check out that video, go check it out. Might be up here in the corner if I remember to put it up there. Anyway, last video we found out that oil was mixing with the coolant, or coolant mixing with the oil, I should say. And I don't think it's the head gasket because it runs so well. And if it was the head gasket, there'd be coolant dripping into the cylinder, and that spark plug would not be firing correctly and igniting the fuel properly. So I'm thinking it's the water pump seal. The water pump seal is behind here in this cover. So what you have to do is take off this clutch side cover right here, and there's a little impeller behind there, and there's a seal on the impeller, and what that seal does is prevent coolant from going into the oil. So I think that's probably the issue. Like I said before in the last video, there's some JB Weld on here, so maybe the case is corroded through in some areas that we don't know about. That could also be the issue. But we're going to investigate today and jump right into it, see if we can find this problem and diagnose it. Drain the coolant out of here. We're going to try to save it in here. See what happens here. Probably gonna shoot everywhere. We're gonna open this up. I think that's repaired too. Gotta be careful with this. There we go. All right, let's see what's going on in here. That's on there pretty good. We're gonna leave that for now and take that guy off of there. Some Loctite on that puppy. Whew. It's on there. Alright, took an extra 10 minutes and got the pipe off. That was held on by 2 clamps right here, bolt right here, and then you had to take out the side panel, and then obviously the springs up here. So we got access to this thing. We can kind of see where it was repaired. Looks like it was a little worse than I thought it was. Yeah, that's not looking too good. Let's try to get this off of here. I think that is going to be in the way. I think that brake lever is going to be in the way. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can get this off of there. Alright. Here's the water pump mechanism right here. The seal's right behind there. So I'm guessing that's the culprit. Otherwise, one of these is leaking up here. You can see it was repaired right there. So we'll have to see where that's leaking in from. We'll have to get this out of here. Clutch looks pretty good so far. Looks like a newer clutch in there. Gears look good. How's that bearing doing? That's pretty good. Couple nicks right there, it looks like. Nothing too bad. Pretty simple in there. Alright, let's get this torn apart and see what's going on with that. Let's see if these come loose here. That comes out like that. There's a, let's see here. So the only JB weld I can see on this thing is right there. So that's probably where it's leaking from. On the back side of that, probably. We don't know for sure. Until we can get back there, we gotta get this cover off here. Alright, the inside of that doesn't look too great. You can see got some pieces falling off in there. Definitely some corrosion going on. Bunch of pieces falling off. It looks like it was repaired at one point, but obviously not very well. You can see the shaft is a little bit loose in there too. So I'm guessing probably a little piece of debris got between that bearing and that seal. Maybe, or it's leaking through here. Not too sure. We'll have to see if it's repaired up there, but as far as I can see, it's not too great. Alright, we got this. It was not reverse thread, so that was good. Wasn't on there too tight. Thought for sure that was going to snap right off there. Got lucky there. Oof. All rough in there. It's a bit rough. go. Little ball bearing fell out. That goes right in there. Alright, let's take a look in here. Looks like coolant was going through that seal, I believe. Bearing seems good on the other side though. I think it might be glued in here though. Oofta. There's the seal. I can see what that looks like in there. Not too good. You can see a big hole right there where it's corroded through. Alright, here's the other cover we have. You can see the back end looks a lot better. There's like a little tiny hole coming through right, I think right there. And where's the other spot I saw? This end is a lot worse though. You can see it's all JB welded throughout the whole thing. And then it's like really uneven on the surface of this thing. You can see. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think we're going to try to repair this one first. See if we can repair that. And then if we can't, we'll work on this one. But this one we know didn't leak, at least from the outside. So that's good. I guess we'll check out the damage. See if we can use the JB weld to fill in those holes. See if that water pump seal fits in there. And then we'll go from there. Alright, here's the old seal. You can see pretty crusty looking. And if you put it on the shaft of the water pump, you can see it's pretty loose on there. See that? How there's gaps in there? See how loose that is? Even from the back side. The new one is right here. See, it's in a lot better shape. So look how tight that fits on there. See, there's no slop in there anymore. So I think that might have been the problem, the main issue at least. I'm sure there was coolant coming in from other areas as well. I cleaned off this whole area with brake cleaner. And then also the inside of there, you can see how dry and clean that is. We're going to take some JB Weld, patch up the area in there, those two little tiny holes, one right there and one right there. We're going to just go around those and then around this one as well, just one more time. And then we're going to do the surface in there as well. Using like a little two-part epoxy weld. It's not JB Weld, but it's like the knockoff version of. I just found this at Menards. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like it might need a little bit more of this hardener on it. I don't know how fast this stuff dries, probably pretty fast. We're just gonna kind of dip it down here. Kind of hard to get to. Little pieces repaired in there. Put a little bit on these other two gaps right here. First we'll Alright, we'll see if this works. We got the new water pump seal in there, and I just covered it around the cracks as well, just to make sure that doesn't leak at all. Every single crack is covered, so we should be good. Did the back side as well. So you can see that's all drying in there. So I'll let that sit overnight and come back and see if this works. Alright, while we let that dry, let's try to get a chain on here. As you guys know, the bike came with a missing chain, so let's go and see if in the parts bin this chain fits for it. Otherwise we have to order one out. Let's see. It looks like it might not be long enough. It might be. It might possibly work. Oh, that goes all the way through. That's crazy. Looks like we're one link too short, so we'll try to adjust the wheel and see if we can get that chain to fit. Right, we got the chain to fit. Alright, chain's on there, I'll tighten up. See how she looks. Got the chain guard back on. Couple fingers fit underneath there. Looking pretty good. Alright, checking on the case here. Looks like this is all dry in here. Nice and hardened up. We're going to let this dry for quite a bit longer, but we can reassemble it now that it's hardened up. See if everything fits in here perfectly. Impeller back on there. All good to go. Water pump is back on. Looking pretty good. Let's get a new gasket on there. I'm going to look for a brand new gasket, see if we can find one. Looking for a gasket, just took off the old one that was all crusty and bad. You can see the remnants of that. And it looks like we don't have one in our collection of gaskets here, so it looks like we're gonna have to order one up. I think for testing purposes though, we're gonna put some gasket maker on it and see if that holds. Alright, just ordered a water pump gasket. That'll be here in a couple days. In the meantime, I'm going to make one out of this box and then use some gasket maker on the other side of it. And that should work for the time being, just to test it out before we get this other gasket. Alright, we got the whole bike put back together. All the bolts are tightened down. Water pump gasket on there. So, we'll see what happens. I guess we can put this on too, before I forget about that. that guy on. But yeah, we'll do the first start, put some coolant down there, and see what that oil looks like. All right, let's get some oil going to this thing. Everything's tightened up, good to go. Hopefully it holds coolant. I'm more concerned about the coolant coming out of this gasket right here because we pretty much made that gasket, so we'll see. 600 milliliters of oil going in. All right, time to get some coolant going down here. Hopefully, oh, that phone in the background. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Here we go. All right, no leaks yet. Let that sit a little bit. No leaks. So far, so good. Should we start her up? All right, let's look at that oil. Hopefully it's not too white. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens here. Hey, that's not too milky. I think we fixed her. You can see there's a little bit left over from in the case, but that's not bad. That is not bad. It looks like honey to me. Yeah. So we'll do one more flush like this. I think we're good to go. I think it's fixed. That would be completely white if that was bad, so that's awesome. All right, let's add some fresh oil. All right, that's all good to go. We're gonna start it up one more time, let it run for about 10 minutes, and then check the oil again, just to make sure that that coolant's not leaking out into that case. All right, let that run for about 10 minutes. Let's just check the oil now. A little dipstick. There we go. Super clear. No white in there at all. Unlike before when we checked it, there's a lot of white. So. Look how clear that is. All right, well that's fixed. Alright, so there's one more problem I want to fix. I just want to see if we can fix it. There's a little hairline crack in the pipe right here, very small. And I can see that smoke is puffing through it. So what we're going to do is clean this off with some brake cleaner first. And then I've got this Gorilla Glue that's clear. It's super glue. I'm just going to go in that crack and see if that can repair that. Brake cleaner. So we'll see if this super glue works. I don't know if it will. Guess we'll learn together. I don't know if it's heat proof or what. Alright, let that dry for a bit. Alright, that's all hardened up there. Let's see if it withstands the heat. Let's see. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Alright, looks like that worked. Cool. Another fix done. Alright, so plans for this thing. I just ordered these boots for the front. They are 14.5 inches long, so I just measured, and that should be perfect. So they're not OEM ones, but they should look pretty good. I'm looking for a blue seat as well, or a blue seat cover. If anyone has one, let me know. The only one I can find is from Taiwan, and it will take like a month to get here. So I don't really want to wait a month to put a seat cover on it. But also looking for some graphics. I found a couple graphics in the box of parts I have over here, but I'm missing one of the shroud graphics. So I'll have to look for some on eBay. And then I want to get a new number plate, or new number plates I should say, or graphics for this thing. So that'll be pretty sweet with the blue seat, blue fork boots, and then the graphics should be looking pretty awesome. But yeah, next video we're going to take this thing for a rip. Stay tuned for that, should be pretty fun. I'll see if Chuck wants to ride the 85, do a little race, have some fun, rip some trails. Should be a good time. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and until next time, we are out.